Jesus said, do this in remembrance of me. Remember the bread that's broken. Remember the blood that is shed, because it has changed your world forever. So I know some of you have come and you don't feel like you're redeemed or redeemable. I don't have much of anything else of worth to offer you but bread and wine. Jesus says, if you feel like you're unredeemed, if you feel like you're unredeemable, come to the table. Let me show you the power of simple things. Maybe you feel like God is extremely boring and he's given us a bunch of drab rituals and routines and that's how we make him happy. If that's what you believe, then God says, come and taste the texture of the bread. Come and taste the unique notes of the wine. Now, we don't do wine here. We do Costco grape juice, so just so we're clear. But taste it. Know that I'm a creative God who made this. It tastes this way because I wanted it to. It's not an accident. If you believe that I'm a drab and boring God, then come to my table and see what it tastes like to be redeemed and to live fully and gratefully. And maybe you not only don't feel like you've been blessed, you feel like maybe God has cursed you. Maybe because of the events of your life, God has it out for you. Well, if that's true, then the psalmist says this to you today: taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the one who takes refuge in him. If any of those describe you, can I just say there is a table prepared for you today. You are welcome. You are invited to come. We need together because, as we know as a nation, a lot of times there are things we can't handle on our own. A couple weeks ago, we had one such moment like this where 5 servicemen were killed in a shooting in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And as a result of that, in that community of Chattanooga, they tried to find a way to deal with the grief of what they were experiencing. And so they invited everyone to a Baptist church one night, regardless of faith, regardless of background. So there were Baptists and Jews and Christians and people with no faith and people who were agnostic, who didn't know if they believed in anything. And they all came together and they all talked about the tragedy. They all talked about how they felt. They all talked about what it was like to mourn together. And then one moment in that service, an amazing thing happened. They began to stand up. They stood up and they began to put their arms around each other. And this is the picture that emerged. They linked arms with each other and they stood together and they mourned together and they prayed together. And I think this is a beautiful picture of what God's table is meant to look like. It doesn't mean that all those people are supposed to come. It just means that this is the kind of place where that kind of together is supposed to happen, where the ground is leveled and we all mourn and we all suffer and we all rejoice and we all do it with bread and wine. So if you need together today, if you need to know that you are a part of something bigger, if you need someone to mourn with, Jesus says, my table is enormous. Come. There's a place card and a seat and a napkin just for you.